So I'm starting to wonder after this week's episode if the big bad papa of the demon family really was one of the 12, or if maybe it was the kind of cobweb controlling bastard that Tanjiro is currently fighting, because Papa Demon, he definitely had some interesting forms and was definitely a force to be reckoned with, but just with how he ran away, and the fact that he did go down so easily, of course, by one of the top ranking demon slayers, so that could be a reason, but it just feels like maybe this kid who's been saying, I'm going to tell dad, I'm going to hurt you if you do the wrong thing, it just kind of feels like maybe this little kid demon could be the 12th within the forest, or maybe Papa Demon was the 12th and he just got his shit wrecked. I don't know, but I'm really excited to see. Something I've been really enjoying about this fight in particular is how there's so many layers to it, all these different demons that they have to fight with all their individual obstacles, personalities for the demon, all the stuff you kind of come to expect with Demon Slayer, except this is a very long fight because of how big the demon family is. The thing I really like is how it's not a normal shonen, where you would just, go from place to place. These characters are absolutely suffering, and for each battle they kind of go into, it feels like we get closer and closer to someone dying. We've seen Inosuke kind of at his breaking limit, but Inosuke is kind of hot-headed, he wants to charge in, and he wouldn't back down. The way he'll go down is when he passes out from exhaustion. In this episode, we see him at multiple points just really in pain. He's grabbing his sides, he's honestly isn't able to stand that much, and the first time ever, we see him honestly scared, almost give up. It feels like Inosuke's kind of scars from this battle and previous battles are catching up to him, and I'm really kind of digging the fact that the scars from both past battles as well as the current ones, they are playing a factor to how his current fight and objective is being kind of operated, and I really appreciate that. We have someone like Tanjiro who's in better shape than Inosuke, but he's getting winded. This is him running around a forest, continually having to fight people, both demons and just demon slayers who are being manipulated, and he's losing his breath. He's having to kind of just continuously deflect and not have the chance to attack, and when he does, he doesn't have the energy to basically do his attacks at full potential. So we have characters who are winded, we have characters who are poisoned, about to die, but luckily has a guardian angel who's about to give him medicine, and then we have someone whose body is about to break, and hell, his skull almost got cracked in. It actually feels like the characters are suffering, and the environment and situation at hand isn't just fight after fight after fight, and they reset, and feels like they got a health potion and, they're back to full potential. No, it actually feels like these characters' wounds and just their exhaustion and just the way human bodies should act, even if they are super soldiers here, they are suffering, and that actually adds to a lot of tension and depth to the fights overall. With that said, though, I have to say something else that really stands kind of Demon Slayer apart from the crowd is the impact. The overall impact to just swords, to attacks, anything and everything that kind of impacts a character, it feels like there's weight, not only just from the sound effects and just the overall, sounds you'll hear that will give you the impact, the way the animation will just throw characters around or the way they'll impale them. I can't really compare it to anime that I've seen, where it just feels like Ufotable did something they've never done before and really made something so supernatural feel so completely realistic. There's a scene where Inosuke gets hit and it goes so fast and he bounces off of trees that it honestly felt like if we did that in the real world, if we really could have something that strong swing a tree and hit him across, it feels like that's how it would occur because it was so fast and so deadly. And I love that. I love just seeing how brutal it is. Love it and hate it, because I hate it obviously because every time it happens, I'm like, holy shit, are we going to lose a character? There was a couple of times it kind of felt like we might have just lost a character. Hell, they end on probably my favorite cliffhanger of Demon Slayer to date. Holy shit, Tanjiro's sword broke and it looks like his head's about to be kind of turned into cobwebs, sliced up in different ways. It feels as if the overall just impact to all these attacks, it is devastating, but you're also mesmerized by just how the animation and just the camera, the speed, the velocity, it just feels as if everything's kind of working in harmony to make us feel like even though we're surrounded by demons, even though we're surrounded by these swordsmen who can do these kind of supernatural techniques and do moves that we couldn't obviously do in the real world, it still feels like there's some form of real world physics and logic being applied, so when these supernatural impacts occur, we're like, yep, that actually feels like, holy shit, if they weren't superhuman, they would have been splattered, no questions asked. And I love that. It just feels like what's going on in this episode, even though it is just Inosuke versus Papa Demon, then we have Tanjiro versus brother and sister, but still, like, it just kind of feels like, holy shit, there's a lot going on, and even though not a lot happened in terms of just, running, fleeing, attack, kind of deflect, get hit around, it just feels like because of the scars, because of the impact, there was so much depth going on, And once you get the transformation of Papa Demon, or once you see the cobwebs in action and just that menacing aura, which is kind of why I'm like, is this the head demon in charge here? Because that aura is unlike anything we've seen, and it just feels like when you say that bond is fake, it kind of feels like, is he manipulating the strings, and is he upset that you're kind of criticizing his make-believe family or something to that nature? Because there's a lot of shit going on here that just doesn't make sense. It's menacing, it's powerful, and how do these characters get out alive? Luckily, they do have the reinforcements, but currently the reinforcements are with Inosuke as well as our boy Zensu. How the hell is Tanjiro going to get out of this? Obviously he will. He's not going out just yet. He is the main character, and there's no way they're killing him off and sending us on Inosuke's kind of perspective for the remainder of the show, but it's still a great cliffhanger nonetheless, because he could have lost an arm, something to that nature. So that's what I really like about this fight, is just it made us feel like someone watching from a distance. We didn't want to participate. We had our binoculars, we were looking at this fight being like, oh my god, the All-Stars are getting annihilated. You look at a beast that we usually would look at Inosuke as being hot-headed, sure, but he's powerful. He's a brute force, and then you see him in terms of size compared to Papa Demon, and you're like, yeah, Inosuke, you might want to be a Zensu here and just run the hell away, which he does try to do, but because of Tanjiro, he does turn around. And I love that, because not only is Tanjiro the reason he tries to continue to be such a badass, he also is the entire reason he didn't give up. This is a demon who he honestly was ready to die because he was so scared, but because Tanjiro is someone he does look up to, even if he wouldn't admit it, he was able to defend himself, and because of that, he was able to get out alive. He obviously would have had his skull cracked, because look at what was happening there. If it wasn't for the reinforcement, he easily would have died. But it just shows you not only how powerful these demons are, but also how much further they have to go because of what one demon hunter did in comparison to what Inosuke, Tanjiro, the rest were trying to do all this time, struggling, sometimes winning and a lot of times losing. And seeing in one attack Papa Demon go out in such an easy way, it's like, holy shit, he sliced through them like it was a stick of butter. So that's what I'm digging, is how it just makes us feel like the overall power, the overall scope of what the battles are doing, they are increasing like you would typically see with a shonen, but it feels like where they're going and how they're escalating it, it feels like it's rather different from a lot of battle series because of how they are actually applying such real-world logic to them, but at the same time keeping it supernatural with the demons and just the overall powers. But the way they're getting hurt, the way they're getting winded and wounded, it feels like because we have that extra layer, it keeps these battles fresh. So even when we're seeing similar situations occur, like once again, Tanjiro is falling. If we remember back in that dodgeball game, he used to break his fall with his attacks. He's doing that again, but it feels different because this time he's getting thrown away from the battlefield by getting hit with a tree and has to do that. He's winded, but oh shit, he has other opponents to fight. It just feels like there's continuously a building block being applied piece by piece by piece, and it keeps the battle feeling like even though we're still in the same force, we're fighting the same family, and even though they're all spiders in their own way, the evolution, the cobwebs, the manipulation, even though at a surface level they're very similar, at the same time they're so different with how they apply themselves to this battle, and how our characters just keep having to go from battle to battle. And it's not even just that they're going from battle to battle, taking out the strongest and working their way down. No, they're starting pretty much at the bottom and working their way up, and that's not good for a body that is completely exhausted. This episode was absolutely just thrilling because I was on the edge of my seat. There was times where I was just like, what the hell? I said that out loud. Holy shit, I'm watching an anime where it's literally making me just yell out loud, just scream like, holy shit, that impact, that shouldn't happen. How is our character going to survive? And that's what I absolutely adore, is it actually feels like this overall force, this setting has so much stakes, and just the continuous evolution, the cliffhangers, and just how they keep making our jaw go on the floor, it absolutely takes my breath away. And it's why Demon Slayer is one of my favorite battle shonens, and why Tanjiro is one of my favorite main characters in a series such as this, because even when he's doing what you would think would be a cliche line of talking to a demon about how he's treating his family very poorly, the way Tanjiro goes about it is not like he's someone who doesn't want to fight because he thinks, you know, they have a family. No, he's criticizing because he's literally abusing a demon who's supposed to be family, and even though he knows he has to kill them, there's certain demons who deserve peace, and clearly this will be one of them. And it's so interesting to see how they continuously just do such great character moments surrounded by so much action, which typically it would just be pretty action in a show like this. But Demon Slayer is all about the characters at the end of the day, the added visuals and all that spectacle is an added bonus, of course, that does elevate this series to another level. But the core reason the show is so good is because the characters are across the board, including the demons, because without this demon family just being as they are with such a multi-layer to them, it wouldn't be nearly as fun as it currently is. I thought this was a great episode. What did everyone think though? Because for anime originals, I'm sure there was quite a few shots in this episode that you were not expecting, and you're probably like me, just on the edge of your seat, screaming out loud, being like, how the hell are they going to do this to us? And how can I wait another week? And for manga readers, how do you enjoy the adaptation? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video though, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you have been new. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.